excuse me, I'd like to call to order the Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Agency meeting for Tuesday, March 16th for 7 p.m. Can we do a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty
and justice for all.
Before you do roll call, I just wanted to say, and we just were talking about, Savannah Nicole has left. Her last day, I think, was February 19th. She was hoping to have a meeting with us before she actually left, but it didn't work out that way. So we wish her the well in her new endeavors. I also received a resignation from Marcy Talicio last week on March 9th. She's no longer part of the agency, and we want to thank her for her time and efforts that she gave us and wish her well. Can we do a roll call, Jenny?
Sure. Donna Corbin-Savinsky?
Yes.
Kevin Zorda?
Here.
Virginia Higley here. Carrie Ann Howe? Bob Hendrickson?
Here.
Marie Pisner?
Absent.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a quorum of 4 people, which is very good. Moving on, and correspondence, I don't really have any, I don't believe, for today.
No.
Agents correspondence. I did want to say we had a Council of Chairs meeting on February 10th, and it was ZBA, P&Z, myself, town attorneys, Lauren, Savannah Nicole, and Jen were there. We had a nice meeting, and the attorneys has asked if there is anything that we would want training on, to think about it and let us know, and they would give us training. Some of the things they've done in the past is the Freedom of Information Act, which is really interesting. But if there's anything else that you would like to have them talk about and give us some little information on, they'd be more than welcome to do that for us. We did have a training on March 6th with Casio. It was a Zoom meeting. I know a few of us have attended. That's always a good meeting. We ended up with a really nice thick book with a lot of regulations and that in it. It was very helpful, as always. There is one coming up tomorrow, this Thursday on March 18th. I don't know if anybody applied for that. It's Land Use Academy Basic Training. There was another one in April. I don't know if anybody, is going to be attending that one. But so we did a lot of training that just went by and is coming up. So it's nice and helpful to hear the different pieces for stuff.
Did she say she's going to abstain?
No.
The other thing is, I know there's another committee that we had Ginny and Kevin are representing us on, is the POCD committee. And I guess that's starting up soon. So hopefully you'll be able to come back with some information for us and let us know what's going on with that. That'd be great. Okay, did anybody have anything else they would like to mention?
Nope.
Okay. Hearing none, moving forward is the approval of minutes from February 2nd.
I move that we approve the minutes from February 2nd, 2021.
I'll second.
Bob, Robert, okay. Do we have any discussion? So Jenny, could you do roll call?
Sure.
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Virginia, yes. Bob?
Yes.
Okay, great. 4 in favor, motion passes. Don't have any old business. So we'll now do new business. And the first one is DPN 2021-0225, 128 Moody Road. Determination of permit deed, application for the construction of a 76 by 240, which includes minor regrading in the upland review. Applicant owner is Owen Jarmuck, map 93, lot 5, I-1 zone. Are the applicants here?
Yes. Good evening, Madam Chairwoman and members of the commission. For the record, Attorney Carl Landolina representing the applicant. Here with us tonight are Jay Ussery from J.R. Russo and Associates, and Mr. Jamak is here as well if you have any questions for him. I think this is a pretty straightforward matter. The details of the barn construction, if you need any, Jay can go over with you. Essentially, this is an agricultural building within the upland review area. Actually, there's going to be some grading within the upland review area. And we believe it's permitted as of right under Section 40 regulations. So, you know, we just filed this determination of permit need for you to discuss this evening. With that, I'll turn it over to Jay if he wants to go over the particulars and if you have any questions about the location. And Mr. Jarmark can answer any questions you have as to the use of the facility to establish that it is, in fact, all the improvements being proposed with this project are agricultural uses.
Yeah, and then what I believe is just the grading piece is part of the upland review. The rest of it is not. Is that, right? Is that correct? The rest of it is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just looking.
That would be my interpretation.
Right. That was my interpretation. Okay.
For the record, Jay Ussery, J.R. Russo and Associates. I could give you a quick overview of the plan if you'd like to see it. I think I could share the screen and kind of walk you through it if that would help. But actually, your staff did a pretty good job in their memo of describing what's going on here in terms of, as Attorney Landolina said, the barn itself is not in the upland review area. There is some minor grading in the upland review, and there's no wetland disturbance. But let me see if I can get my plan up here and we can take a look at it together. Just bear with me here for a second. Can we all see that?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yep.
Wow, I did it the first time. I'm impressed with myself. This usually takes a couple of chances. But all right. So if we take a look at this, I added a little color to it today because there's a lot going on here in terms of lines and so forth. So I added a little color to make it a little easier. But if we look to the upside of the plan or to the north up here where my cursor is, this is Moody Road up in this location. The wetland that's the subject of the application is a farm pond that's located over here to the west. And you can see I highlighted the actual limit of the wetland in blue here. This is the edge of the pond. And then there's a little swale, a drainage swale that comes up to the south and the east and then comes back down. But basically it's the pond that's located here. And this was a delineation that Rick Zulik did in December of 19. So about 15 months ago or something, the delineation was done. The barn building itself is located here, basically a north and south orientation. There's a little bump out here on the back, which is a loading dock. And the regulated area, your 100-foot upland review area, is this green line, kind of lime green that I'm showing here, and I'm following it with my cursor, comes down, and then it kind of flops around a little bit and goes around this swale. So you can see the grading lines that are shown here, the proposed contours, and that's the area that we're talking about that's in the upland review area. And then in your staff report, they also picked out that there's a little corner of the actual gravel driveway over here at the southwest corner that's in the upland review area. There's about 2,000 feet of gravel driveway, 2,000 square feet that's located right here. And then some grading that's associated with that. But there is no disturbance of the wetlands, as Attorney Landolina said, and as it pointed out in the application. It's an agricultural use, going to be used by Jarmark Farms. And that's pretty much the gist of it. Barn's located here, farm road already located here. A new gravel farm road kind of comes around the building to access all sides and the doors. And that's a basic overview of what we have. As in the application, it says we believe it's an as of right use due to the agricultural use. And hopefully that you'll agree and allow us to move forward.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for him or comments?
I don't, but it doesn't look like any of the wetlands, any of the water courses are being changed at all.
Mhm.
And so as far as I'm concerned, it's as of right.
I agree with Kevin.
Yeah. Did you see the staff comments regarding a second row of silt fencing to put, doing the fill area and grading and all that?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a request we can make, but in terms of if we're not really making it's not an application, we can't
Just make recommendations.
require that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for the commission's review here, again, Jay Ursary, J.R. Russo, there is a silt fence that's located here to protect the resource. And to be honest, if you wanted to make that recommendation, I don't think the applicant has any problem with beefing that up with a second row if the commission were in favor of doing that. I don't think it's an issue.
I think that would be a request if you don't mind doing that. I do have one question on the application itself. It looks like there was no, under the question phase 2, environmental hazards identified. There's no answer, yes or no. I assume that's a no. It's on page 3 of 8.
Again, Jay Ursary, J.R. Russo, there was nothing that we found in the land records in what searching we could do and what's available online that would indicate that there was ever any issue here with any type of environmental pollution or anything of that nature. So there's nothing that I'm aware of. I think I did ask Owen Jarmack the same question. I don't think there's anything that he's aware of here.
Owen Jarmack, 33 School Street, Enfield, Connecticut. We performed an A2 survey and environmental when we purchased the property 3 years ago, and there's no concerns.
Excellent.
In terms of just running back to the second row of silt fence, we'd be more than willing to put up another line.
Super. Just protect the pond.
Yep.
Yeah. Madam Chair?
Yes.
Lori Whitten. So I was really more concerned about maybe second row, or at least the silt fencing being closer up or down towards the southwest corner between that area of fill and disturbance in the upland review area, between there and the swale in particular.
Right.
I just didn't want anything to be running off into there.
Right. I know they did say something about having show the detail of how much the proposed gravel drive, show how deep it's going to go and the underlying material. That was mentioned as well. And how they would stabilize it running into the upland review.
So once again, it's not that it's necessarily regulated or required. However, I do have concern that since that gravel area is actually within the upland review and immediately adjacent, and trucks will be driving over it, I'm just not sure how stable that those millings are going to be, and not breaking off and going, or that's not millings, I'm sorry, gravel. So I just didn't want it all to wash into the upland review area.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record, Jay Ursary, the area here that we're talking about, the southwest corner and the area of the gravel drive, anything outside this area, this is currently I'm going to call it a hayfield, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I believe they do hay it, and it'll remain that way. So there's going to be a substantial, if you will, grass or biofilter buffer between the edge of the gravel and the swale, the upper corner of the swale. And I can tell you here, just bear with me a second. There's about 60 feet of area here between the edge of the gravel driveway in the edge of the wetland that forms around the outside of that swale. So there's a fairly good distance of grass area that be established there and remain there as more or less a buffer and a filter. So I understand Lori Witten's concern, but I don't see it as an issue. And a double row of the silt fence will protect it until the grass is reestablished. And we'd like to do this spring, so it's perfect timing to get it done and get it reseeded in the spring planting season to get some vegetation growing there again.
Perfect. Yeah, it sounds like a good deal. Does anybody else have any comments or questions or concerns?
Nope.
Madam Chair, I would just like to remind the applicants that although farming activities are exempt, that he should still use best management practices. So try not to park the equipment near the pond and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, general advice.
Thank you. All right, shall I make a motion here just make a motion that we find that this is an agriculturally exempt activity located at 128 Moody Road, and no permit is required for
Second.
IW 694.
Okay, perfect. Any more discussion? Jenny, could you do a roll call?
Sure. Donna Corbin-Savinsky?
Yes.
Kevin Sorda?
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Bob Hendrickson?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. 4 in favor, motion passes. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining our meeting and reviewing it with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jay, are you staying for the next one, or is Dana coming? Or?
I think Dana's going to be on with you, although if he's not on yet, Carl, I'll hang in here for a bit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so next on our agenda then is IW 569, 144 and 146 South Road, Tarnow Nursery and Garden Center. Special permit was approved in 2016 and the deadline to complete was May 5th, 2021. Extension request is for 5 more years to complete the project. I just want to say I pulled out the records. The application was approved on January 5th, 2016, and it expires January 5th, 2021. Some of the notes, some of the pieces of paper where you had an incorrect date, so I just want to make sure everybody aware of that. And a question I had for the applicants is one of our stipulations was to merge the lots. Do we know if that was done?
For the record, Madam Chairwoman, members of the commission, Attorney Carl Landolina, I can't say whether that was done or not. I was expecting Dana Steele from J.R. Russo to be on with us tonight. So I can't tell you whether or not that's been accomplished. The one thing I would say, I read your regulations with respect. I understand that when the application was approved, 5 years ago, but I think I was in front of you when that happened, and you did have an expiration date on the permit. The regulations, and I think and I don't know who wrote the
Paperwork
and in terms of the dates, but your regulations say that, well, the statute says that permits are good for 10 years. Your regulations say they're good for 10 years, except when there's a corresponding permit from planning and zoning for either subdivision or site plan or something of that nature. Then the expiration will be the same date as the expiration on the planning and zoning approval. So that's where I think the May 5th, 2021 date came in. But be that as it may, I mean, that's whether it expired in January or is expiring in 45 days. The work hasn't been completed. My understanding is that most of the work that was associated with the wetlands permit, we had a meeting with planning and zoning, and Ginny can attest to this last week. There's much more work related to the site plan aspects, but the wetlands permit work, which was drainage work and some ponding and clearing work, most of that, I can't say all of it has been completed. So yes, again, what happened at planning and zoning is that we got a 1-year extension, I think, till May 5th of 2022. And so even though I guess we're asking for 5 years under your own regulations, that's when our zoning permit is going to expire at this point. And so I think we would reduce our request to this permit being extended only through May 5th of 2022 to correspond with the permit from planning and zoning. But I guess that's a long way of saying, Madam Chairwoman, I don't know if the lots have been merged or not. I believe they might have been, but I can't say with certainty that they have.
For the record, Jay Ursary, J.R. Russo and Associates, and I believe, and we're going back a number of years here, but as I recall, with regard to this application, in order to get his zoning permit to begin the work, that the staff and the PZC approval itself required the merger of the lots. So I believe that was done. I think Attorney Landolina is correct that had been completed. If that answers your question, I hope that it does.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it was done, because otherwise the combined lots is what qualified him to do the work in the wetlands. He didn't have enough acreage to do the work as 2 separate lots. It had to be combined for us to give his approval. So I just want to make sure.
I think he had to combine them so that he could qualify as a farm.
Right, right.
Farming agricultural activity.
Right. So
maybe somebody could get us a copy of that for our next meeting. I'm not saying hold you up. I'm just saying maybe somebody can get us a copy of that so we'll know for sure, because I don't think that he did it.
Yeah, I can do that through staff. And if it hasn't been done, we'll certainly take care of it,
okay.
In the next few weeks, next couple of days, I'm sorry.
Okay, that'd be good. And that way we'll know it's been done and one less thing on the plate of either one of us.
Right.
Exactly. Yep.
So I'm also wondering, with these other special conditions, what has been done, what hasn't been done? Is he following kind of these requests that we had? They were pretty simple.
Again, for the record, Jay Ursary, and I'm going to admit this wasn't a project that I was involved in on a day-to-day basis like some of the others. But it's my understanding in my conversations with Dana at the office and with Shannon, the owner, is that probably 90% of the work that actually involved the wetland and the creation of the farm pond is all created. Some of the site plan work that was involved with the PCC approval is actually within your upland review area. So technically it still requires a permit from the Wetland Commission, even though I guess we would say that it isn't maybe directly related to any wetland disturbance, but he's really still working in the upland review area. And I think that's the reason that we need an extension on the current permit.
I think in planning and zoning, they talked about the drainage pond, and Shannon said that it was a good portion of it was done, but he still had a little bit to finish up, if I remember correctly.
No, you're correct, Jenny. That's what he said. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, Madam Chair, Lori Whitman.
Yes, Lori.
What I did with the Planning and Zoning Commission is what I suggest for this commission is grant the 1 year, and when they come back, they need to, identify all of the items that have been completed or still need to be completed. So they need to account for the actions that they've taken thus far.
Right.
if they come back for next time, maybe they won't need to.
Right.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be optimal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it would be helpful. Okay.
All right. You want me to make a motion then?
Sure.
I think I agree with that. I move that we extend the permit for IW number 569, 144, 146 South Road, Tarno Nursery and Garden Center special permit for 1 year. Extension.
Second,
Okay, so it's going to expire, did we say on January 5th,
No,
2022?
Is it
I
I think
January
he
or
said May 5th.
Yeah, May 5th.
Hey, oh, May.
Yeah, to keep it in line with planning and zoning approvals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so May 5th,
Yeah.
2020. And could we add that they, check out to see if they merged the lots?
They're going to give us a copy at the next meeting, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll take care of that. Absolutely.
Staff and the applicant will make sure that we answer that question for you.
Perfect.
Thanks, Lori.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call. Oh, yeah. So Kevin made the motion. Did anybody second it?
I did.
And he did.
Okay, great. Could we do roll call, Ginny?
Donna Corbin Sabinski.
Yes. Yes.
Kevin Zorda.
Yes.
Virginia Higley, yes. Bob Hendrickson.
Yes.
Okay, 4 in favor, motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen, for attending. And
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate it. Enjoy your
Thank you
evening.
very
Thank you.
much.
have a good night, everybody. The next is reports. I don't know if we have any. I haven't seen anything.
I could just tell you that we are finally moving forward with the, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong one, not enforcement. If you want to move on to the next one, I'll tell you.
Okay, next one.
We are moving forward with the POCD. You mentioned that yesterday or earlier this evening. So tomorrow we will start the steering committee for the POCD. We are starting the traffic impact study that was supposed to be started like last February with the CROG around the mall, and it was really hard to do a traffic impact study without any traffic. So we are actually just starting that as well. So that's a good thing to be moving forward. We're also have been working with the state conservation service to determine whether or not we might be able to get monies to do some flood mitigation around the mall area with the freshwater brook. So we've been working actually the last year with them. So they're kind of will be finalizing their study probably by fall, and then we'll see if we might be eligible for some funding to do some implementation studies and maybe even installation, but
Nice.
just something that we've been working on just on the side.
In your spare time?
Yeah, pretty much. And we did, we're down to 2 candidates for filling of Savannah Nicole Villalba's spot. So hopefully we'll have somebody on board, maybe even by your next meeting. Who knows?
Excellent.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped on this. I was like, okay, let's get it out there. We need somebody.
With that being said, so if we email you, should we include Nicole? Is that more? I don't know how's your last name.
Nicole Maruka? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because she's been helping with the packets and stuff. So
yeah,
so related to that, absolutely. That would be great.
I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to,
Yeah,
impose
she's trying
on.
to help cover. So yeah,
Okay,
that'd be awesome.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? And we have no new applications to be received that I know of.
You actually have one. We've already put it on the website, but let me read it to you. Am I in the right? Stop it. Where'd it go?
Oh, IW 624 90 Elm Street, application for inland wetlands watercourse permit to construct a 2,300 square foot restaurant, parking and associated
Pertinences.
Yeah. Enfield Square Realty LLC, Enfield CH LLV, Enfield Nasom owner, Enfield Development LLC applicant, map 43, lot 17. So this is for a what? A restaurant. Okay.
Basically a restaurant. It will be located if you are entering from Elm Street by Wendy's and Friendly's. It would be to that first empty vacant parcel to the left.
Oh, behind Figaro's.
Yes, between Figaro's and the road.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right, so that'll be in a couple of weeks on.
Yep.
Okay.
We put it on the website so we could at least get through the petition period.
Right. Yeah.
Tonight, and it's already up there. So.
Yeah, so that's good. I didn't see that when I was looking a little bit earlier.
I think it just got added today. So.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So we do have the application received. Thank you. We don't have any agent approvals.
Nope.
Nope.
It's been quiet on that end.
Yeah. So do I have any motion to adjourn or?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Aye.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you, everybody. Have a good
All right,
couple
good night.
Bye, guys.